Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That is in the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. In these sessions, I would like to talk about Islam and environment, the environmental problem, and Islamic perspective or approach. Being in the field of forestry, that passes very well in the environmental issues, and also reading or passing the Holy Quran and some of the Islamic literature, I would like to merge between them to come out with something I hope useful to humanity regarding Islam and environment. First let me in this first session to talk generally. I would like to start with a definition and the terms. Well, the term of the environment itself and the environmental problems. Environment, when it comes to scientific definition, environment is any part of the world with some physical and biological life upon it. I mean the laws, chemical, physical laws, plus the populations of different beings that live there. For example, the water sources, the soil, the climatic factors as a whole, and all the populations, including humans, populations of all beings, that is their environment. But as today we have worldwide environmental problems, let us take the environment in this wider scope. The definition is the whole Earth, the planet of the Earth we are living in. Because there's international, global problems, we'd like to take example. For example, we all know and hear about global warming. We all know and hear about climate change that might affect the life upon Earth. We hear about desertification that threatens over 100 countries across the world. So serious problem. We can mention acid rains. We can mention air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, contamination therein. We can mention endangered animal and plant species. A long list exists today, according to international organizations. And we can talk about land deterioration, decline in land fertility. You can talk about decline in land fertility, and so on and so forth. So many problems, and they are so serious that we have to address them, really. As there are so many problems and serious problems, some people suggested, why not to leave this Earth altogether and to look for another planet in the universe to live in? That is a suggestion anyhow. I found this suggestion raised by some people when we are talking about environment in different countries, and it is a suggestion anyhow. But let us discuss it. Why not? Just for the sake of discussion, let us discuss it. They said we have to leave. We may leave the Earth planet altogether and look for another planet to live in. Well, scientifically it's not valid, because we know that life of humans depend on the water. There is no water over there, except for few scarce traces that are found in the planet of the Mars, for example. That's one thing. Also, life depends on oxygen that is found not in the well proportions found in the Earth planet. For example, nitrogen, oxygen, they are all in certain proportions that set in the Earth, not in other planets. That's one thing. The other thing is the distance of the sun from our planet is so accurate that it is now estimated about 93 million miles. The sun, 93 million miles away from us. Well, if it approaches a little bit, if it draws near a little bit, only 1 mile, even less than that, the life upon Earth will be burned. All beings will be burned. And if the opposite happens also, it will be frozen. So it is a very accurate balance. That is for the sun. If you take other planets, like for example the Mercury planet, we know the Mercury is the nearest planet revolving around the sun, the nearest to the sun. In that planet, there's a very long day and a very long night on the opposite side of it. So that planet can be divided into two parts. One is always dark, very, very cold, and night all the time. and the other part is very, very hot, a long night all the day all the time, and so on. So it's not suitable for human life, and the other planets as well. They are not suitable for humans. So scientifically, this suggestion to look for another planet is not valid, will not be accepted scientifically. That is one thing. Even just for the sake of discussion, if it is suitable, how can we go about it? How can we transfer the whole of the populations to that planet? You know, the space journeys are very costly today. So that is not, and even though if people go there, and if it is suitable for life there, people are going to corrupt it again and to disturb it again. So what would be the solution? To look for a third one? So that is not the solution. That is not the solution. Solution is to change the attitude of humans. That is the main thing. Well, other people, there's another suggestion. They said, why not to kill part of the people, population today, for the other part to live happily and easily and comfortably. That is very strange, but let us discuss it. Why not? Just for the sake of discussion. Who will be ready to be killed? And for the others to live happily and peacefully and comfortably. That is not valid. That's one thing. The other thing is, if we kill, people kill half or 1/3 of the populations, then the other half, or the other 2/3, will live for a while and the populations will grow up again. So what will be the situation? Are they going to continue killing? Is that a wise suggestion to be given from humans? So that is not a true one. So I think we have to admit we have problems, serious environmental problems that threaten our life as humans, but we have to commit to admit it. We are the causes of these problems, and we have to change our attitude, and we have to live in this habitat given by God, by our Lord, by our Creator. There is no other habitat for us suitable. Allah is saying, for example, in the Holy Quran, we can mention some verses, like, for example, in chapter number 7, Allah is saying in this chapter number 7, وَلَقَدْ مَكَّنَّاكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَعَايِشْ. And we have certainly established you upon the earth and made for you therein ways of livelihood. That is one of the verses. So many other verses as well. For example, in this verse, Allah is saying, 24, قال اهبطوا بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين. And for you on the earth is a place of settlement and enjoyment, provision for a time. This is mentioned by the Holy Quran, and this is repeatedly mentioned in so many verses, many chapters of the Holy Quran. For example, in this chapter, أَلَمْ نَجْعَلِ الْأَرْضَ مِهَادًا. This verse is saying, have we not made the earth as a resting place? Have we not made the earth as a resting place? So this fact is repeatedly mentioned in the Holy Quran. The earth is a suitable habitat for human life, not other. So we have to address our problems. Well, the environmental problem is so complicated. It is not a field of a certain specialist, environmental specialist. It entails all specialties. Anyone specialized in this or that field can fit in the environment and can hold on to one of these fields and contribute to the well-being of the environment. For example, forestry, range management, soil, climatology, all these are fields that suits or fit in the environmental problem. Actually, to end up this first session, I would say the environmental problem is so complicated. It needs the efforts of all people at all levels, from statesmen like the decision makers, the mass media, the school and education, environmental organizations, either international or local, and even religious leaders, up to the family level and up to the individual, down to the individual level. We have to change our attitude. We have to feel there is a problem. We have to have a concern and feel responsibility and work together, take actions for the improvement and restoration of our environment. Thank you very much for this.